Champion sound. Champion sound.
Yes. You already know what time it is. Yep. It is Discussions from the Den. What's going on, everybody? Good evening.
What's up?
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's show. I'm excited because we got some pretty cool topics tonight.
Yep.
And we are here every
Monday
at
9 p.m.
All right, bro. I feel like I can't hear you.
I feel like I can't hear me either.
Turn yourself up.
There we go.
There you
Nope.
go.
Is that it?
There
Nope.
you
There we
go.
go.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Let's see.
I don't know.
I can hear him.
Yes. You can hear me? Can you hear me good?
There we go.
There we go.
Turn the preacher's mic up. It's discussions from the dead.
Turn me up.
And we're glad to be here with you tonight. Listen, you know what we already need you to do?
That's right. I
We
need
you to. Go ahead.
you
Uh-huh.
to
Uh-huh.
go.
Uh-huh.
As a matter of fact,
Uh-huh.
turn my monitors down and put me in the house.
Yes, sir.
Listen, we need you to like and share right now.
Like and share.
You're getting no preach from me tonight because I preached yesterday and I'm tired. So you're
Yes,
getting
sir.
no preach tonight. If you want to preach, go to Kingdom Deliverance Tabernacle.
My
Shameless
God.
plug.
My God, go
And
plug
go
it,
see the
plug
sermon
it,
from yesterday.
Plug it,
Because that
plug
was
it,
a good
plug it.
service.
Oh my goodness.
We're here every Monday night, and we're glad that you're with us. We got a good show tonight, right? We're gonna talk a little bit of hot topics.
Yeah.
A little bit of hot topics, and what else we talking about tonight? You gonna do some shoe cam for us?
Yeah, I got some shoe
Got
cans.
some shoe cam
Yeah,
for us. Got
yeah,
some shoe cam. Listen, y'all already know. I see you coming in the comments. Want to shout out some people, bro?
Yeah, I see Karen. What up,
Karen
Karen?
Mooring.
We see there she is.
Uh-huh.
Mother English. Never
Uh-huh.
We
fails.
got
Uh-huh.
our faithful
Uh-huh.
viewers
Never.
on tonight.
Fails.
Yep,
Never
yep,
fails.
Yep.
Lateris.
Yeah.
It's my daughter.
Yeah,
Hey girl,
yeah,
how you
yeah,
doing?
yeah,
Jocelyn, she's here every week.
Jocelyn is here.
Every
Jocelyn
week.
is here and on time.
On
We got a
time.
special guest tonight. Elder Deshaun Edwards
I see him
is
in there.
on
I see him in there.
tonight.
I see him in there. I see him
He'll
in there.
get me later, but don't you worry. I'm screaming his name tonight.
Stephanie Guy is in the comments. Yvonne Burrows, HC in the house.
Yep.
We got Rika all the way from the Bahamas. Hope City, Bahamas is in the house.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, since we said that, y'all know what time it is, right?
What time is it?
Now I know all of us, we got our energy. I think it's the rain got us a little down. But you,
What time is
look, you already look like you ready for the
What
turn
time
up.
is it?
It's time to rep your city. Hey, rep your city.
Where you at? Where you at?
Hey, rep your city.
Where you at?
Where you from? 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 Where you from?
Brooklyn! Brooklyn!
Wherever you're watching from tonight, we need you to rep your
I'm
city
from
right now.
Brooklyn.
There you go. I see y'all coming in. There we go.
There they go.
There we go.
they
There we go. Tanya Bullock is in the comments in
Yeah.
Philly. Donna Wilson,
Baltimore.
Drexel Hill, PA. Go ahead, bro. You want to shout some out?
Deshaun Edwards Beemore.
Hey.
Antoine Fletcher, DC.
DC is in the house tonight.
Kanye Bullock, Philly.
Hey,
Philly.
Willem Burrow,
Let's-
Yvonne Burrows,
Hey,
representing
hey.
for us South Jersey Ice.
Hey, wrap it up.
Hey,
wrap
hey,
it up.
hey, hey, get it? Hey, hey, go. Hey,
Sturdy.
hey,
Sturdy.
hey.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Rep your city. I see y'all still coming in.
It was the face.
Come on, Rika Nassau, Bahamas is in the house.
ATL is here tonight. Candy, we see you.
Pemberton, New Jersey. Susan Matthews is in the house tonight.
Yeah.
We're glad you guys are with us. Listen, 29 of you are with us, but we need you
Do
to
I-
share.
Tay
We need to
said,
share.
do I rep Philly or Baltimore? Tay, you can do
Do both.
either one.
Do both. Do
Philly
both.
or
Do both.
Baltimore.
Do
Where did
both.
you
Do
land
both.
right
Do both.
now?
Do both.
Either one
Do
you
both.
want.
Listen, we don't want you guys to forget that we're winding down soon to our season finale.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so hard
But we'll be back
to say goodbye.
for
Yeah.
now.
But you have an opportunity to
Yes,
join us.
you can.
August 9th is our
Bring yourselves.
live
Season finale
show.
Season finale.
Listen, we want you guys to email DFT the Den. DFT the Den. Let's see if
Yes.
we can drop it as a lower third in there.
Now
for
let me
you.
let you know this now.
Go ahead.
Seats are limited.
Yeah, and they already
And they're
filling up.
filling up already.
And they're filling up. So
Yeah.
if you missed it, you
Yeah.
missed it. And
Yeah.
we'll see you at season 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
After last week's show, emails started coming in. Hey, I
Emails
wanna
was
be
coming
right
in,
the audience.
emails, text
after the show.
messages.
Right
Yeah.
after the show.
Yeah, and let me tell you
Harry Potter
something.
Owls was coming.
It's gonna be a vibe.
it's gonna be a vibe.
It's gonna be a vibe.
It's going to be an
So
entire
if I was you, while you're on, I would be emailing
It's
right
going to
now.
be an
Don't
entire-
wait till
Yeah.
the end.
vibe. Where can they go?
Yeah.
Where can they go to email?
You can
it?
go to DFT the Den.
You gotta go now.
DFT the Den. We
Go
need you guys to email
now.
right now.
At
Go now.
gmail.com.
Yep. Go now.
Live show is going to be in Philly.
Yes.
Gonna be right
Yvonne
here.
said I registered.
Hey,
Yeah.
already in there. Yeah, if you already registered,
Yeah.
put it in there so
Yeah.
people know like we're not playing any games.
Steph, we have a seat, but we do not have a microphone for you. We have have a seat,
Yes,
but
we do
do not have a
no,
mic.
she's getting one.
And we don't have her
Oh.
email.
And we don't have your email.
So
I know you're an executive
the
pastor
executive
and all,
pastor card ain't gonna work.
but that is Hope City
Your
Empowerment
executive
Church.
pastor card does not get you in the
That is
discussions
Hope
from the day.
City
Go on,
Empowerment Church.
go on
not
and register.
discussions.
Go on and register. Go on and register. Go on and register.
That's right.
Well, she might. Let me see. She might get a pass because it's going to be in our new.
There are
soundstage
no
space.
passes.
No?
I wouldn't
Okay,
care.
okay.
if it
There's
was
Hope
in the-
City. There's Hope City. There's KDT,
I
and then
wouldn't
there's
care.
discussions from the
They
day.
are
Got
very
it,
different.
Got it. Got
They
it.
are very
Got it.
different.
Got it. Got it. Listen,
Yep.
we're going to get into tonight because we need your opinion tonight. 33
Yep.
of you on with us. If you shared it, put it in the comments. Let us know that you shared. Register.
Yep.
Donna Wilson. Yes, Mom Wilson is registered.
Mom is ready.
Jocelyn said, I have mine
Mom
and
is
ready
ready.
to vibe. Yeah, we're going to have a live DJ.
Yep.
We're going to talk some crazy topics.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the audience.
Live
bringing some of it.
performance.
Yeah, live performance. We're going to do some
Live
giveaways.
performance, giveaways.
Bring y'all up
Yep.
on the stage.
Yep.
And yeah, we're going to have a lot of exciting things. So
It's gonna be some
again,
fun.
if you have not registered, we want you to register to be
Yep.
at the live show.
Let's go. Come on, y'all. Share
Season
this with us.
finale,
This has been a
August 9th.
special time.
August 9th.
I'm excited.
Email DFT
The
Den.
Den.
At gmail.com.
Yeah. I see you, Tanya Bullock.
Let's
I see
do
you.
it.
I see you. I see you.
Let's do it.
So let's get into, first of all, what you guys do this weekend?
So took my baby to main event in
Okay.
Delaware.
Okay.
Nice.
She had some, some quality time spent
Yeah.
with her friends, family, and she did this zip lining thing.
Okay.
And I thought she was gonna be scared. She got right on that joint and
Fearless.
flew right
Fearless.
across.
Let's
right
go
across.
Fearless. That's
Right
what I'm talking about.
across.
That's
So-
what I'm talking about.
It's been a full weekend.
T, what about you?
I had a really full weekend too. I did a lot of solo dating this weekend for
Oh.
myself. Friday, I went to breakfast, I went to dinner and bought some stuff for my trip coming up.
Yep.
Saturday, I had to go to a Greek cookout, and then I went to support. Shut up. I went to support.
Greek
I, knew,
and
look, I was gonna say it, but I knew you were gonna go in, so that's why I just remained
Greek
quiet.
and
Yes,
Yeah.
Pretty Nasty Cookout was this weekend. The Q's and the Kappas had their cookout,
Mhm.
so I went to that.
they
and
allowed
I
y'all to go.
Jesus.
It's a cookout for everybody, but they hosted.
Oh,
Yeah,
so your crew was there.
and then
My question is, did y'all party walk? Is what I want to know.
I'm too old for that.
Oh
I
my
don't party
God.
walk anymore. You
Oh.
leave
We're gonna make you do that at the live show.
But yes,
I'm
you
not
definitely
party
are.
walking
Oh, you
anywhere.
definitely gonna do that.
No,
We're gonna call your
I'm
line
not.
sisters and tell them to meet you here.
And then I went to a girlfriend's graduation cookout. And then yesterday I went to church, well, virtually.
Yeah.
To two church services or
Nice.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then I went out to eat and took myself out to eat again.
Word.
So
Word.
it was a good
Word.
weekend.
Nice.
Y'all help us. You know, you're part of our tribe. Tell us what you did this weekend. I absolutely did nothing.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I stayed home and
You
I
deserve
watched the first 48
Man, you work
at
hard.
home.
Binge
And when I
watching.
say nothing, of course, within context, I
Yeah.
mean emails,
Yeah.
and texts,
But you
and
work
things, so
hard.
I
man.
didn't go
You work
anywhere.
hard. You deserve.
I didn't do
it.
a thing. I needed that, bro.
Yeah.
I needed
Yeah,
that.
you work hard,
I needed
man.
that. So listen, we're gonna get into tonight's show. We're gonna be talking a little bit about relationships again because you guys have us kind of stuck in this whole vibe. But we're gonna talk several things tonight. We're gonna talk about what it is to date as a leader.
Yep.
Yeah. So navigating personal and private relationships
Yeah.
while in leadership. I think that's a good nuance to the topic.
Yep. And then we're gonna talk about how much do you share right in a relationship, right? That fear of when you break up or it goes bad,
Man,
what comes out? How many times do we see that? Right?
Yeah.
Some has gone bad. And it's
And-
been bad.
Yes.
People's
Been bad.
expectations that they place on leaders
Yeah.
when it comes to their own preferences of how they date and the
Yeah.
way in which they do so. Or
If they're even dating.
if they're
Right.
even dating.
If they're even dating. And
Yeah.
then I'm excited because then a part of that we're going to talk about when does healing become hurt, right? Oh, that was a
Hmm.
shatamansuko.
Oh, wait,
He talking about-
wait. What songs is that?
Let me think.
What
That
denomination?
sounded, that sounded very international. Yeah, that was somewhere over there.
That's a CDIA.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love the fact that we really be putting denominations. in songs. It's hilarious to
That's
me.
what I felt in my. That's what I felt in my spirit tonight. But we're gonna Spring. What's going on?
Yeah,
But we're
brunch
gonna
with
we're
her
gonna. She said brunch with her family, but we're also
Nice.
gonna talk about when individuals use word my mouth, Lord. When they use
Guide his tongue, Lord.
when they use what they've been through as their platform, but at the expense of exposing or hurting someone else.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
CDIA.
CDIA tongues.
CDIA tongues. City's gonna stand up. So so that's gonna be pretty interesting. So we want you guys. We're gonna definitely need you. I see some of our faithfuls, Spring, Sakithia,
Yeah.
Yvonne, Karen, Steph. I see some of our faithfuls in here. Antoine. So you definitely know we need you guys to sound off when we get to these topics tonight, and start getting your comments ready.
Yeah.
And Jocelyn, because Last week Steph and Jocelyn was having their
They was
own.
ready.
They had their own
They had
discussions
their
from
own
the
show.
den. So we need y'all.
No, last week was lit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be good. Why don't we do shoe cam real quick?
Well, let's do it. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
let's do shoe cam.
Listen, this week,
I really like
Nike.
those.
Come in further. Come in
What's
further.
that?
There you go.
Air
There you go.
Max.
There you go. There you go.
React
Bring 'em on the side.
270s. Red
There
engine.
you
Wait a minute.
Look, I'm trying to help you with your
Let
visual,
me
brother.
touch it.
Trying to help you with your visual.
Wait a
Not
minute
let
now.
me touch
Don't
it.
touch my stuff. Now hold on. Wait 1 second.
you
There we
crazy?
go. There we go. Y'all see them? Nike Air Max 270
No, I like
Reacts,
those.
baby.
Those are actually
Yeah.
really hot.
Thank
Can
you.
you give me some?
What?
Can you get me a pair?
Sure. Got you. I'll send you the link to Foot Locker.
And I'm rocking tonight
I see
the
it right
Adidas
there.
slides.
Oh my goodness. What is
That's
that?
what
Was
it
not
is.
playing.
You already know I'm
That
just
was
up
not
from the
planned.
top
Oh my
up,
God.
from the
From the
waist up.
Yo, that was not planned, y'all. I swear. That was not planned.
Bruh, it's
That
sweatpants
was-
and Adidas slides
That
under
was
this
not
thing.
a part of the show. That was not a part of the show.
I'm just saying comfort,
Oh
right?
my
And I
goodness.
got a Tory one.
Oh my God. This boy is
break
crazy. You're out of your mind.
I'm just saying, Mom Wilson, yo.
She said you're rocking the
Well,
hat.
thank you. The hat makes up for the slides.
Tay, you already know. That is my best female friend right there.
Yes,
We used to work together, and she has now moved down to Baltimore, but she is one of my closest and dearest friends.
Nice.
Tay, I love you so much.
Glad to have you with us tonight.
Yeah.
Welcome to the den. Hey, come on, y'all already know it's comfort. I'm telling y'all.
Mike Thomas, what's
I'm
up,
telling
boy?
y'all. I'm telling y'all.
My
I'm telling you,
good
Mike.
friend
What's going on?
Kyle
What's going on? What's going on?
Yep.
So listen, we're going to get in tonight. But first, we're going to do what would you do?
What would you do?
What would you
you do? Many of you, and this story hits close to home for those of us that are in the South Jersey and Philly area. We didn't talk about it last week, but more has developed, and we're going to show a little bit of the video. So we want to say if you have kids with you, or if you are
Put your earphones
disturbed
in.
by
What you
explicit
see?
language, we edited most of it, but we're going to show it to you. So there is a gentleman by the name of Edward Cagney, who has been harassing his neighbors, ironically, in the town that I grew up in.
Wow.
From the time I was 9 until 21,
Wow.
Mount Laurel, New Jersey.
Wow.
And so this kind of hits home because I still
Sure.
have two younger brothers who were there.
Sure.
My mother, my stepfather still lived there. So apparently he's been harassing his neighbors, spray painting their cars, shooting their cars with all kinds of BB guns, and breaking down doors, and of course using explicits. It is racially motivated.
Yeah.
And you know how we do. He put up for the village to come see him, and they
said, "Oh, don't worry about it. On the way."
they came and saw him. So since then, he's been brought up on a lot of different charges. I actually had a few of my members from my church. They like KDT members. They'd be like, "What? They was out there protesting, bro. They were not playing."
Listen.
Yeah. So we're gonna show you a little bit of the video again. If you are easily triggered, you may want to mute it. I know for me, it's very hard to watch, and we're not going to show the whole thing, but we want to show you, and we may not be showing you. Because I do have it. Okay. I want to show you a little. Then we want to have the discussion. What would you do? And the what would you do is, what would you do if you came to your door, right?
And he was there.
And he was there.
I already know what I would
Can I
do.
answer, or should I wait?
Can I
Just
answer?
wait. Just
Okay,
wait.
okay.
What would you do? What would you?
I got
And we're gonna
something
weigh
to
the consequences
Because
of
the
it all.
fact that he's been doing this.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
All right. So here goes the video, guys. Again, we want to remind you this. It's a bit disturbing. So if you are easily triggered, you may want to mute for a moment.
One more time. Oh, you put your hands on me. Come close. Come close. Right there. I know. Right there. Come close. Right there. The rolling jerseys. Back up. Come close. Back up. One more time. Oh, you put. One more time. Oh, you put your hands on me. Come close. Come close. Right there. I know. Right there. Come close. Right there. Come close. Jerseys.
Okay, so it's so we're gonna act it out. So you're gonna be the neighbor.
I'm not going to be the neighbor. Because if I got to play that part, it's not going to go well.
So for whatever reason, the video is pausing, but this is how it went. He came to the door, was harassing them, was calling them, of course, all kinds of racial explicits, including monkey, the N-word. And then at one point in the video, he spits in the boy's
really did.
face.
He really did.
And this young man, even the police said that they commended him on the extreme restraint that he had.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So the question is, we'll start with you, Tiara, and then we want you guys in the comments. What would
Yvonne
you
said throat punch.
Mid-sentence.
Punch again.
Oh my God. The minute his stomach touched me, though.
What would you do? What would you do?
Oh my
You're
goodness.
crazy.
Go ahead.
You need a
say it.
moment?
I'm trying to make sure I say the right words, and I'm having a hard time.
Sean
figuring
said,
out a
"Oh, he would have caught the
substitute.
fade."
It would have been a problem.
No.
Hands would have definitely been laid for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, I really believe that the Lord would never put me in that kind of situation
I feel like
because-
all bets are off.
because the resistance that would be required of people from
Yeah.
me would almost be unrealistic.
and I would have watched.
Yeah.
like it
I
is
actually
no
would have joined
way
you.
like that right there. Even if see, here's the thing. Even if that was, if he approached you,
Yeah.
the fact that
He would have got
I
jumped.
know you.
He would have got jumped.
you wouldn't have had to do nothing,
Yeah.
I would have swung first.
So I think there's a lot. So here's the thing, and
When he spit it,
yeah,
that
yeah.
would have been the part that.
But here's the
It's
thing
one
that
thing
we
to
have to
say a
think
lot.
about. There's a lot to unpack in this story, and actually, on Friday, later, I'll be actually attending the city council meeting that they're having in Mount
Nice.
Laurel.
Gotta be faster.
Because you're great. Well, you know what it is? It's more so that I just think about my brothers that are there.
Mhm.
And, you know, this could have been them at any moment in a predominantly, you know, white town.
Sure.
So I see a lot of our responses are the same in regards to the violence aspect, and what we do. And you did a great job of this last week is we try to create or present all sides of the story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So my question is, in a time where we as African Americans, because that's the predominance of our audience, when we are often on the bad side of situations like this, meaning the situation, we did not provoke the situation,
Right.
but we oftentimes, our reactions cause us to be the ones either in handcuffs or killed.
Yeah.
Right. We can look at Trayvon Martin. We can look at, so what is the fine line between adrenaline and the pride? Because really that's what our reaction is, pride. Someone is disrespecting us,
Yep.
right? What is the fine line between that and playing your life out of, is it really worth it? How does that work? Look at you. Look at it. But this is the conversation we got to have,
No,
because
I think it's,
there's a lot of people who are in this situation and their story will never be heard. All, you know, a lot of people will see is, oh, you put your hands
Sure.
on him.
Yeah.
So what
I
are your
think
thoughts?
I think now seeing the
Yeah,
small
Master.
wins, right? I think
Mhm.
the small wins now not only encourage us to kind of like be patient,
Yeah.
but I think it also encourages us, like you said, to think of the big picture.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest, you can say whatever you want to me.
Mhm.
I'm
That's
not
my point.
concerned about that.
That's my point.
When you spit on me,
That's my
Yeah.
point. All
that's
bets are off.
disgusting.
Yeah.
And
All bets are
I
off.
wouldn't care what, you know, like I don't know if I would care about a consequence at that moment,
I
because
wouldn't.
that is the epitome of disrespect.
I would
yeah.
not.
Yeah. I agree with Jocelyn. Jocelyn says, sadly, Mount Laurel has been like this. Yeah, Jocelyn, I grew up in Mount Laurel. Now, I can't say that I directly saw a lot of situations, but I can count on at least 3 occasions in school where we were called racial names. I remember at one time, and it reminds me, it's not funny, but I remember one time had to be the 6th or 7th grade, white girl called me the N-word. And, you know, in that time, there wasn't a lot of African-American kids, so we all stuck together. And by the time lunch came, bro, they had literally like jumped her and broke her leg. And I felt bad, but it was like, don't. Shireen. But like, you know, it was like, they weren't having that.
I mean, I remember playing in South Philly. I remember playing ball in South Philly. And I remember being called the N-word. And I was proud of myself because it really took everything in me
Yeah.
not to break his face.
Mm.
But in that moment, my future wouldn't allow me to do what I knew what was going to be the end result, especially because his father was a cop.
Right.
So I already knew
Right.
what was behind that. But emotionally, it took a lot on me,
Yeah.
because walking away literally brought me to tears, because
Oh yeah.
I knew
Oh yeah.
my response was going to make me be the bad person.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I'm the one that's being attacked.
And the thing is, you have a daughter too, so it's like, how do you?
The words for me
Yeah.
are not hard to navigate. Like that happened to me not too long ago
Yeah.
at Home Depot. Like she didn't say the N-word, but her
But,
demeanor and
yeah,
how she was
she was-
talking to me
Yeah.
was nuts. And I clearly was like, you might want to calm down.
Yeah.
And I looked at her. Like, so I'm not quick to move off of the words, because you kind of expect that from them, right? Like
Yeah.
that's really all they have.
I agree, Spring.
So my biggest concern is like when they take it to another level, like the spitting. I cannot
Yeah,
say
that's another thing.
that I'm not going to react.
Yep. But here's how this story takes a twist, and we're going to spend 2 more minutes on this, and we're going to roll. I want you guys to read some of their comments as well.
Yeah.
Here's where the story takes a twist, because if you watch the video, which you can find it on YouTube, toward the end of the video, a police officer shows up, and the guy is so brazen in what he's doing that he checks the police officer.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yo, what are you doing here?" and calls him by name.
Yeah.
He's like, "You have no jurisdiction here." In another video, he talks about how the police are not going to help and how he's in with the police, and that's why they won't do anything. So, and the police officer already knew his name. He's like, "Hey, so, why don't you go back to your house?" Or so it's clear that there is a lot of alliances that are formed. And, even one of the young ladies who was involved in other things he did, nothing ever happened because there were connections. So it's all those things we got to play in mind is like, how is this really going to play out for us?
Yeah.
I agree with what Spring said. Now, I agree with the part two, the spitting part. That would have just,
I
there's some ones you just
blacked
see,
out.
like I think Jocelyn said, you just see red. You want to read some comments?
Yeah, Sean said, I have psych patients that throw the words to him daily and it's still challenging. The words are different, but those, I think, I think no matter what, environment you're in, if you feel like there's a space where people have gone from talking to attacking, it provides a different level of response. And I think the scary part is if those people hadn't gone to that man's house and protested,
oh yeah,
they probably would have never
got a
locked him
picture
up.
of that.
They would have never went to his house. They would have never held him accountable.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like them going, I wasn't really excited because I felt like it was okay. Let me go for fear of having what we've seen in other cities, not because we're really coming to hold him accountable.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they treated him with they probably didn't put him
and
in
that
a cell.
says a lot, the fact that he was already taunting people.
Oh, it was like crazy when you go and read some of the things they were
so
doing.
it's like if he was already, and that just shows you like they literally only did it because of the mass of people that came, because he was already doing it. It wasn't their first time thing.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's our what would you do for the evening. That got us all triggered. We all ready to fight. What'd you say? I saw you, but he's like.
Find the words here. Find the words.
Speaking of which, Lady T has always got the hot topics, and your hot topic is kind of gonna roll us into our discussion tonight. You want to lead us in?
Yeah, so y'all already know. I already come with the tea. What is the latest gossip? What is happening around the world, and what is there to talk about? So the first thing is some good news. 14-year-old Zayla Avant became the first African American to win the National Spelling Bee after competing against 208 other contestants from 8 different countries. And has been given some national attention around it. So in addition to her winning, she's also been receiving a number of full scholarships to a number of different universities, some including the Louisiana State University, Louisiana Community and Technical College, and a HBCU Southern University. So while all of these offers are rolling in, she has made it clear that she has intent to pursue for Harvard University. So
first of all, it is the smile for me.
Oh, I love it. You got to watch the video. Like when she actually won, she does like this
twirl.
spin around. Yeah, like
they said they're going to trademark it for her.
Oh, it was like perfect. But here's the thing: not only is she an avid speller, but she also is like super dope at basketball. We got a really cool video of her. We're going to show you guys real quick.
Let's do it.
And she's this is definitely what we call that black girl magic for sure. Let's play the video for you real quick. Videos tonight. Just know the video is great, and so is she. So we give God praise for her on tonight. Oh, it's playing for y'all though. Maybe it's just not playing for us.
Maybe it's.
I see it on. Okay, so let's do that. Let's play it again because it looks like it's playing for you. Enough for her, so everybody give God praise for her. We thank God for her on tonight. What else you got for us?
All right, so the big heavy hitter for this week was Pastor Keon Henderson and Shawnee O'Neal, a reality star,
Yeah.
hit the media with a big blow in making their relationship public.
Yeah.
As Shawnee was posted on Instagram wishing Keon a happy birthday, as both of them kind of posted in agreement that the development of their relationship started at a really solid relationship. And I was looking at some of the comments; they're getting a lot of good feedback. People are excited to kind of see their relationship grow
Yep.
in a public stance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is for KDT tonight: what would you do
wait
if
a minute.
Pastor?
Hold on,
Yes,
KDT!
I told you. What would you do if Pastor Will came on a Sunday and said, "Don't get nervous." Like,
Not nervous.
said, "I got me a basketball wives superstar who is now gonna be your first lady." And what would y'all do? That's the question. You ain't sweating too hard, brother. Are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
No, but we want to talk about like what do you all feel about that in regards to
I'm excited, and it looks really genuine.
look, yep, this is what I want tonight. Latera said
nope.
nope.
I'm actually really excited for them. That like I instantly started smiling when I seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a conversation to be had because not only do we got to get into these comments. I'm
These
loving the
comments
comments.
about to be
I'm loving the
hilarious
comments.
today.
I'm loving the emojis already. Yep.
The
Yep.
Saints is not pleased.
Like if you just saw her fighting
Khalil said the Saints is not pleased.
and she's speaking in tongues on Sunday, and then you turn the TV on next week and she's like, going on somebody
now,
said.
here's what I'll say, because Shawnee is actually not one of them to give too much.
No,
of
that's
that.
true. That's true.
But
That's
I don't.
true.
But
She's
Shawnee,
around
but
it.
she's around it. So I think she'll, because what happens is when a woman is connected to a pastor, the first thing people do
They're gonna start to
is
peel her apart.
they give her expectations, right?
Mhm.
So if you're a first lady or you're the wife of a pastor,
Yeah.
you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't be involved in this, you shouldn't be involved in that. And I can't remember what pastor it was that was married to the celebrity, and they did like this book something. And I remember
Okay.
somebody in the audience like trying to question her.
It was
Y'all remember who that was?
It was
Oh yes,
Megan
Megan Good.
And he was like, no,
Yeah,
no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that now.
Yeah, at
This
the
is my
interview.
wife.
Yep.
This is what, like, we ain't
Yeah.
doing that. And I
She
think,
said you're gonna cover up, right?
Yeah, right.
and he was like, no, we're not doing that. She
Yeah.
gonna be fine. She gonna be fly, because I think, in instances like that, I think the church has their idea of what a first lady should look like, talk like,
Yeah.
dress like, act like, be involved in.
Right.
And the reality is the church is changing.
All right, well, let's not go too far yet, because we
Okay.
ain't even there yet. We ain't
Okay,
there yet,
okay,
'cause
okay.
That's the conversation for today. All right, so we go in with the did you know fact, and we haven't done this in a while, guys, because the hot topic's really been rolling. So this one was kind of interesting.
This is foolish.
Stupid.
And Kim was like, I don't know, it doesn't fit with the topic.
Go ahead.
But when Koreans are born,
Yeah.
they actually are born 1 year old. Like rather, so when a Korean New Year strikes on January 1, every Korean turns 1 year old. 1 year old.
So they
that
were already
means-
born into their future.
Yes. So
What is
so that means
That's a
that- Yo, oh my God, you are wilding right now.
I was born ahead of time.
What's wrong with
Oh my God.
So that means when a Korean baby is born on like December 31st, they will be turning 2 years old the day after January 1st.
Right. Let's just where's the crickets? What in the what?
So y'all, I read this to them before the show.
Stupid. Stupid. There we go. That's the
Kim was
one.
like, I don't even know we should do that without a feeling like it.
What are you even saying right
Will was like, that's the
So
point. It's, did you know? It's supposed to be dumb.
It's supposed to be done.
Like Rika said, come again. What?
You was born one, but you're actually two.
You were born one.
Thank you, Spring. I was like, what?
It's supposed to be stupid, but is it? Did you know? Okay,
Sure.
I didn't like that one. Whatever.
In other news, we got to give it up for Tate Digital.
Yo, Tate.
Tate
No,
Digital, our
first of all,
assistant
I don't
producer.
like how y'all just
Love
try
you,
to play me.
I already
We
told you.
talked-
Already know I wasn't.
We talked about this before the
no,
show.
y'all
And
talking
I
about.
asked y'all, you know what?
It's okay. Don't worry.
You'll do
about
better next time.
it. So Antoine said, that's why they be looking old.
Yeah, sorry to all of our
Oh my
Julian friends
goodness.
who may see this. Jesus Christ.
Spring, you're supposed to be on my side.
No, Spring.
This
I'm
is
with
not
you.
what we're
I'm
going
with
to do.
you. I'm with you. I'm with you. 34 of you are watching with us. So listen, we were talking about Keon and Shawnee, but this is a great topic because I think there's several things we can talk about when we get into our nightcap, and this is where we need you guys to sound off because not only Keon, but we saw it with our friend Pastor Jamal Bryant and Giselle.
Yep.
Right. So a lot of people when she was on House, and Giselle is off the hook on Housewives. She is definitely not reserved like Shawnee. She is.
Well, they say he off the hook in real life. So what's the
Jesus.
difference?
Okay.
He's a.
Are you nervous? That's my payback.
I will
I
not.
don't like Jamal Bryant.
I
I'm sorry. Lady T.
Oh man,
We're not going to do that.
Lady T. I'm not a pastor.
it's okay. Don't worry about it, Ken. Okay,
I'm so
I don't
hot
like
right now.
him.
he's sweating, y'all.
But the question is,
Yeah.
now here's what I really want to ask y'all.
Nope.
And I guess we can talk about this as pastors. Do pastors have to share their personal life?
No.
Because
Where
I
is
believe-
the fine line in between what you have to share and what you don't?
I'll
I
let
don't
y'all
think a
speak to
pastor
that.
has to share any part of their personal life.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one, Jocelyn.
I don't
Yes,
think
Noel
that's the-
Jones and Lisa Ray. Yep.
You know, I don't think it's a requirement to share your personal life. You know, and what I've experienced is the church already got their
Wow.
opinions of what your
Child.
personal life is.
Oh,
So
certainly.
I mean, don't get caught up in, feeling like you have to prove something. And I'm saying that from experience.
Right.
You know, I've felt like I've had to defend a lot of stuff that is untrue
Yeah.
Yeah.
to the point where I really had to free myself. Like, man, I'm not doing that. Whatever y'all gonna
Yep.
make it, then just make it that. But
Mm.
I
Church
think,
folk have a bad habit of doing that.
yeah,
Mom
I think,
is with you. Look at the comments.
I think parents have a right. I mean, pastors. I think
Mm-hmm.
pastors have a right to live their personal life in peace the same way members do.
Yeah, I think it's a fine line. I think, knowing those levels of transparency. But I think that we, pastors of past have given so much to the church that it's almost kind of that expectation. Because I believe that you can have, okay, this might be a little controversial, but I believe that if either of us were to marry someone, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be involved in the ministry.
I don't, I'm gonna be honest, like it's so like the church has changed where like a lot of women don't even want to marry pastors because they just want to be a part of the church and they feel like if they marry a pastor, I have to do something,
Yeah.
Like
and
that Mazda. Yeah.
some just want to support,
Mhm.
and not be involved again with what the church says a pastor's
That's really
wife
good.
should
Certainly.
look like,
Certainly.
do, be,
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah. And I think a lot of relationships break up because there is that pressure to become that, right? Oh,
Yeah.
so does that mean now I got to wear a hat? I got to sit on the front row. I got to be at women's meetings. I got to
Yeah.
So what does that look like for you guys? Like as pastors
Uh-oh.
who's single, like how does that work for you when you do date or if because regardless of it, people date, right? Like
Mhm.
you're single. If somebody wants a spouse, you have to date at some point.
Mhm.
So what does that look like ideally for you guys?
I think that here's the thing. I think that in whatever relationships you're in as a pastor, I think it's what you establish with your ministry, right? The
Mhm.
levels of transparency that you share with them, and then creating those lines of, hey, like this is what I'm willing to share with you all. This is what I'm not willing to share.
Right.
But I think also you have to be very careful about how you infuse anyone into your ministry, whether it's romantically, friendship, because they are a representation of you at the same
Sure.
time. And so although they may not be involved in the ministry, their connection to you reflects your character in regards to who you choose to surround
Mhm.
yourself with,
Yeah.
either romantically or relationship wise. So I think there's a lot with it. For me, I also feel like a lot of times when you introduce relationships as a pastor into we're gonna get into all these
Welcome
comments.
to Atlanta where the players play.
Yes. But I think when you introduce that, sometimes it can be a distraction to what you're building as well, right?
Mm.
So what happens is people will focus on that, like even with Keon, and that'll be the story, but there might be several other amazing things he's doing. So I think you
Right.
have to also take that into consideration.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is a lot of times members, have this expectation of a leader and don't hold themselves to the same standard.
Yeah.
So it's like they can date somebody and not lose focus on the ministry, right? And the first thing that happens if a pastor is dating somebody is, oh, well, make sure she's not going to distract you from the ministry.
But here's the thing, and I'm going to say this, but I want to say this, and I want to put this disclaimer out here because this is not directed at KDT or Hope City. I'll say this, not directed to those that I know who are a genuine part of your ministry that I see on here and those that I see on right now, but also sometimes the reason that relationships with single pastors become an issue is because there's a lot of people in the congregation who indirectly think they're the pastor's wife.
Ooh.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I think that's a fair statement. And I don't think that's a shot. I think that's a fair statement. And I think,
but baby, that's a bomb.
because
that's
I mean,
a bomb.
But what it does is when those things happen, it creates unnecessary confusion for people that are just there for ministry, but have a connection with the pastor.
Yeah.
Right? So if you feel like the pastor is your husband, then any woman in there you have an issue with because
Right, Steph, push
you
that
feel
button.
like somebody is stepping on your toes or in your territory. Like it's been a point where I've had to stand up.
Oh, certainly.
in front of the church.
Oh,
and say no. Like
my
it's
church,
not
absolutely
here.
my church getting ready to go
Right?
off. Please don't.
Like I've literally had to do it. But the interesting thing is people still feel like they know what my personal life is, what my connections are with people.
Yeah.
And it's so far in left field that it really started to affect me. Like I'm being honest, it really started to affect me. And it caused me to start to put barriers up because now I don't know who I can trust. Now anything
Because everybody's
that
talking.
happens is now a situation,
Right.
and it's coming at you, and you're like, "What?"
And that's
Like,
so
what are you even talking
unfortunate.
about?
It's so unfortunate. I think that's just a bad thing that church people do. Like we were even talking about how at Abundant, they would be linking me with people I was just genuinely really close to. Like, this is my brother.
that's because people
And
are
then it's
looking
like-
for anything.
And you can no longer have really good friendships
Yeah.
with somebody of the opposite sex. You have to be doing something.
Yeah.
And most of the time it comes from the older saints that be doing
Certainly.
this to younger
Certainly.
people a
Yeah.
lot
Certainly.
too.
Yeah.
I see that struck a nerve with you guys in regards to the comment just mentioned because I think that happens a lot is that oftentimes people come to church looking for a position or to get close to the pastor to indirectly. And then it's like, Lord, let me see how I can say this. There have been situations where I know personally I've had situations where my kindness has been taken as attraction.
Okay,
And I'm
okay,
like,
that's fair.
no, I'm just
Nah, bro, that
being
ain't
nice
it.
to you,
Yeah.
right? So I've had to learn how to, because I even think for us as men, we're not super emotional thinkers, right? So to me, a hug is just a hug.
It's just a hug.
But
Yeah.
a hug with a little rub to someone else,
Something
Who's
going on.
already had a preconceived
right?
notion in
Maybe
their
like,
head.
Something's going on.
right,
Yeah.
right, or a
Yeah.
good morning text, like, oh, he text me good morning,
Yeah.
like you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying good
Yeah.
morning. Like,
Yeah.
so what do you all think? How do you, and maybe we can talk about how to navigate that as well.
Sure.
But where maybe does that come from? Where do you all, is that an insecurity? Is it a spirit that is on that person?
I mean,
or
I've really been extremely wise of what I say, what conversations I navigate, and then who's around when certain conversations have to be had, right? Like there are moments where I just need another person there because I don't want anything that I say to be taken wrong, to be misinterpreted, or it allows for people to make a judgment. And this is a lesson that I've had to learn because when I started the ministry, my mindset was I just want to love the people. Like I just want to love the people. I want to make sure people are good. I want to be reachable. Like I want to be touchable.
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel like I'm a god and all that.
Right.
And it caused some stuff to come back to me that really wounded me in a place. But I also feel like it was necessary because it also showed me the true intentions of people.
Yeah.
So it was moments where I cried going home some days because of the stuff that people came to me and said people were saying.
Especially when you're trying to function in integrity.
And when it comes from the people that you love and
Yeah.
that you pray for and sacrifice for,
Yeah.
it's damaging.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it
But as a pastor, you
people
have to be careful.
people come also, there are people who come with motives, right?
Yeah, sure.
Who come with an intent. And then what happens is they sow that seed in ways that are not, this conversation just went somewhere else, but I think it's important. They sow that seed in ways, and that's why you have to really have those in your ministry who have strong spirits of discernment, because even as a pastor, there's some things, and that's why I thank God for a lot of the individuals in my church, and even particularly Elder Guy, because I think it's important to have women in your church who are not romantically attracted to you, but can also see that spirit that you may not see.
I think that's the one thing I was so naive about.
Yeah,
like if I
like,
can be
You
transparent,
can't do that.
like people coming with hidden agendas, I was so naive to that. I'm like, no, people just want a safe place to worship, and they just
Not
come in
everybody.
from,
There are people that
from
come with
broken
agendas.
places,
they come
but there
in,
are people that have really come like
agenda.
searching, looking, dividing,
and they'll
in
sow that
between.
seed in other people.
Man,
Yep.
you have no idea, bro.
And what
You
they
have
do,
no
which
idea.
makes me sick, is there are people who they don't do it directly. They'll say things like,
They plant the
"Oh,
seed.
did Pastor call you this week?"
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, because I
please.
talked to him. I talked to him for like an hour
absolutely.
this week.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's those little seeds where you have to be very careful. And so I think it's important that you have watchmen and women on the wall who can discern those different things.
Yeah.
The other question I want to ask in that is let's do this because the comments are raging.
What they say?
So let's
Who did it, Pastor? I'm not telling you anything. Guy,
this
get
must
out
be
of
your
here.
week because
Oh,
you know
he know not to
Get
spell
outta
no
here.
names. He got too many crazy females around
Mother
him
Wilson
that will
said,
go to war.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah, it's true though.
Seed
But that
planters,
seed,
yeah.
that seed sows,
Yeah.
and that's why you have to be very careful. And this is again not just with women. You know, across the board, these things happen with people who plant seeds to come to divide or have this this other image in their head.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a true story. A ministry that I was serving at, y'all can choose whichever one you want, who know where I've been. But there was a woman who literally on a Sunday afternoon, this is the God's honest truth. Stephanie, you probably can agree, and it wasn't Conquering Power. I'll say that. Came to you just got to look. You already know we on one tonight. So
Wait a minute.
So it wasn't that church.
This is going.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying it wasn't that church. Came to the church in a wedding dress.
Sean said he did.
Wait, what? Cam?
No, I'm just serious. Came to the church in a wedding
For
dress.
you?
No, the devil. I almost said no for the bishop.
I was about to say.
And said.
Why didn't nobody call me?
The Lord told me in our last meeting that you are my husband. We're getting married today. Now that's another kind of. I mean, bro, in a wedding dress.
Did she leave out in a white jacket hugging herself? Because that's what should have happened.
I'm just saying, but you'd be surprised the stories that people create in their head.
Sick.
But here's the thing. I almost felt the Holy Ghost.
You
bro.
did. You okay?
There are a lot of people who know how to do church, but are mentally unstable. And so we're surprised because they know how to function. They know how to pray. They know how to expedite services. They know how to do administration. But there's a whole other story going on in their head that you often don't find out until you introduce a relationship or have to rebuke them or have that conversation.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I was only doing that because I thought you felt the same way I did.
Can you imagine real quick? Because I just had a mental image in my head. Can you imagine if somebody did that to one of y'all?
No, I definitely can't because
imagine somebody came into.
First of all,
I would just be laughing. I would just be laughing.
First of all, I don't know if Tweet is on here.
Like what?
First of all, Tweet and Kevin ain't letting that person even get past the door, so you ain't got to worry about that.
Legitimately,
Tweet plays
y'all going off in these comments.
Listening to you, I
Yeah, now that's a true
thought
story.
about individual people who are in his church, and I'm like, she's gonna act like this.
Oh yeah, all right.
She's gonna act like this.
You know, I already got Baltimore, Philly, Pemberton in my church. They be like,
Danielle said I may slip up and curse.
look at CC Hope City. Look,
But I think
that's a true story that happened.
But I think the reality is that people actually come with that because I had a member that told me, like, somebody told me they was your wife, and I said, "Well, what did you say?" The person said, "I ain't say nothing because the person crazy." You know, but you need people that knows how to navigate
certainly
those conversations
and identify those spirits, because I think it is a spirit.
That is definitely a spirit.
When you don't say anything, it makes people think that they are correct, you know, and that starts, you know, a lot of stuff, and it makes it uncomfortable for pastors.
Yeah,
you know, because I know for me at one point, I was literally looking like over every shoulder Like, and am I talking to this person too,
Too
long?
long.
Can
Oh
I
yeah,
not- can
and
I
it'll
not
drive
laugh
you
with this
crazy,
man?
because here's
I'm
the thing,
telling you,
and
I'm telling you.
and that story.
Right, Jocelyn.
I'm telling you.
Exactly.
I feel healing
Yep,
right
I'm
now.
it
Because
is.
what happens is, Tierra, honestly, you start trying to navigate so much that it literally becomes draining.
It
Oh,
does.
did I say hi to that person? Oh, I didn't say hi to them. Oh, let me make sure. And then they'll say things like, "Oh, well, you gave her. You ain't say hi to me, Pastor." And you like.
Let me
You
tell
don't
Ken,
realize I got 30, 40 people I'm trying to get to.
We often talked about that with Bishop Walker too.
Yeah,
and
it's
how
a lot.
They do too much.
Yeah.
It's like, let that man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
be.
how serious it was. One Sunday, I came late on purpose because I just wanted to go right
in the
to
office,
to the office.
and come right out.
So I didn't have to talk to
pulpit.
nobody because I just wanted a day where
Hey, Franklin,
my interaction wasn't going to cause accusations
it's so much,
Yeah.
man.
towards
It's
me.
so
right?
much.
And then you have
Yeah.
to get up and you have to be, wise. You have to preach what God gave you. You
Yeah.
can't preach from your emotions.
Right.
And it took over me so bad
Oh yeah.
that my emotions
Yeah.
started to come out.
No,
because-
I literally at one point was like, if this is what pastoring is, I don't want to do
I don't
this.
want it.
I agree.
Because I'm serious. Like there'll
They
be
do
people
too
who
much.
they will you'll notice a change because it's like, now you shout every Sunday, now you sit with your arms folded. What's wrong? Well, you just didn't speak to me the last. I'm like, you don't realize I didn't even see you. Like I didn't like what?
So weird.
Yeah, and so it definitely is a spirit, but you need individuals who can show you, like, hey, you need to watch that.
Let me ask you this, Cam.
Sure.
Do you
Uh-oh.
think that this is a serious conversation. Like, do you think that a lot of single
Jocelyn.
pastors are even afraid to date for what the backlash is
So
going to be?
that was going to be my
absolutely.
next
Absolutely.
question.
You know,
Absolutely.
That was gonna be my
like-
next question.
Like, do you think like pastors like I don't even like? I mean, I hear what Paul said. It's better to be single, but I'm just gonna rock with him right now because I don't even want nobody because
Yeah.
it's such a headache.
Just-
like you can't even have happiness without it becoming something.
Well, I feel like becoming something in several ways. One, if it is okay, so this is a good segue.
Yeah.
And then I want to read some of the comments. If it goes bad, right? So the question we talked about in our pre-show meeting was, how much do you share in a relationship, right? Because once you bring that person in, your congregation to a degree begins to trust that person
Yeah.
because they trust you.
Yeah.
So if pastor would bring this person, introduce us, it must mean that he trusts them.
trust them because
and
he wouldn't
honors
bring
them.
anybody.
Exactly. So then that person has a power because now, in the case that something goes wrong between you two, they've built that trust. So
Yeah.
the people are going to automatically assume, oh, well, maybe some of what they're saying is true.
Yeah.
So the question is, how much do you share in those relationships? What are the barriers in that for the fear of, and I'm not saying, crazy things, but of course, in any relationship, you share intimate things or things
Yeah.
you've been through that you may not share with your congregation.
Yeah.
I'm very transparent about my journey. There's a lot of things, and honestly, why a lot of the members of our church have joined, because they're just like, you tell us that you're still a work in progress as
Sure.
well. But at the same time, there's some things that I worked through, have worked through, will work through that I'm not necessarily going to share over the pulpit,
Right.
but I may share it with somebody who is.
Yeah.
And I
best
think,
friend.
I think the unfortunate part is that people won't allow the human part of pastors to
Yeah.
kind of have space to grow and evolve and change in multiple different things, because there is this expectation that you always have to be here. You always have to perform here.
Yeah.
They don't see that. And we talked about this when we were talking about
Yeah.
navigating the spotlight.
Yeah.
Like, people are not able to see your humanity outside of your leadership.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's very true. And but also I think it depends on the type of ministry. We're on a show right now. What are you
Sorry.
doing?
Go ahead.
What are you doing? Maybe
ahead.
that's one of them. Let's see. Whose name
Check
is
you
that?
quick.
Just lost you for a minute. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
But you made me forget what I was saying. What's
Yes,
wrong with you?
yeah.
You got a distraction
Look,
spirit on you.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
No,
check
but
completely
I
out.
think it's also a matter of establishing your ministry in a way that they understand your boundaries, right? So these are my boundaries. This is what you are privy to.
Mhm.
This is what you're not. I mean, I'm going to be very honest with you all and be very transparent, probably more than a lot of people would, but we've even established in our ministry a protocol for texting me.
Mhm.
Like, with certain things that are acceptable and are not, just from a phase of honor, like if you are a woman in our ministry, like Don't be sending me like hearts and winks. And it may not mean anything, but it establishes a certain level of honor and boundaries. And none of the women in my church have ever been disrespectful or anything like that. But it just establishes a certain level of boundaries that we already know, so that if anyone else does come into the ministry and may read that differently or may accept that as different, we've already set a standard for what the honor and protocol and boundaries are as a leader.
Yeah,
I think that's and I agree. I think it's necessary, but I also feel like it's so stressful because again, there's so much. Like
they
you
have
said,
Steph. I love my church.
like when it comes to, like you said, a woman coming into the church. If you're introducing this woman, then this is my future. I'm planning on and like Mother Wilson said earlier, it's like a blended family. So now you're bringing somebody in, especially if they didn't start with you, right? So if you bring somebody in, that is bringing somebody into your family. But I think your congregation also has to have enough respect to understand, like, if my pastor is bringing somebody in here, then it's clearly somebody I have to learn, but somebody I can trust, because he's not going to bring anybody in here that's going to harm us. Right. So I think, to your point, I think there is a level of learning and growing with that person before you bring them before the people, because once you bring them and something goes wrong, like we've seen it, like we've seen, and we've seen it in marriages, and especially with, marriages that involve ministry people. Like when it goes wrong, it can really be damaging to either party.
Yeah, Jocelyn, that's a very good point. Jocelyn said, I know we talk about, that's very true, bro. I actually want to go back to that.
Okay.
I know we talking about single pastors, but also there's married ones. These women go after too. That's very true. It's very true. You want to read comment?
Yeah, to all the women out there looking for husbands in church, go to some other one. And Katie why did you ask me to read that?
That was
you
so
read
smooth.
That first.
Good job, Kim.
I promise you.
That was
but
so
I
smooth.
didn't.
That was so smooth.
I really didn't.
Yo, you are on one tonight.
I really did. Steph says pastors can't be human and can't be human and grow and change, but there are also a lot of pastors who don't use their safe places leaders across the board. Absolutely. Yes. Get out of there. I really did not read that text before. I promise you. I promise you. So I guess the question is for you all, we can talk about it in leadership. 44 of you on with us right now on Facebook and YouTube.
Thank you.
Is how much is too much to share in a relationship
with the church? No,
in your relationship with the person. Right?
I honestly believe, if you feel like, especially, well, I'll talk from a pastor standpoint. T's viewpoint would be different, but if you're going to be a part of my journey, because I'm extremely transparent with the areas in my life that haven't been successful with the church.
Sure.
Right. With,
likewise,
making sure you don't share too much, not oversharing, but I have shared a lot of my failures before I became a pastor, because I think it's important for them to understand, like, you look at me now, but I haven't always been at this point. So I think if this is a person that you're saying you're bringing into your family, which is what the church is, then I think you need to be honest, because what you don't want, because there's going to be one, what you don't want is somebody to find out and then decide to share what you did not share. Right. So my thing is, you need to be able to handle my transparency and my sharing of where I've come from, what I've come through, and be comfortable knowing that's a part of my journey, the same way I would be comfortable with their journey.
I want to know in the comments. I think that's very true. I think and I love what Tamara said, sharing depends on the individual. You feel people out. I want to know in the comments from you all, tell us tonight if you've ever been in a situation where you shared something in a relationship and that person used it against you, right? Or it came back and it hurt you. And how did you deal with that? Because I think part of tonight is also not just sharing experiences, but sharing how it hurt them. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one specific.
What about you?
Yeah,
and not even in relationship, in friendships.
It's been
friendships for sure.
I've had somebody literally tell me that they were extending grace to me.
Excuse me.
And I didn't respond because I didn't know what to say. I was so shocked. But it was almost like, this was said to me, and I'm just saying it to you because I'm your friend, but I'm extending grace. I'm sorry.
So what does it look
What
like
is
if the grace
that?
wasn't extended?
I'm like,
And
I'm
who?
like,
Ooh.
what?
So, and you are who?
So yeah, I mean, it's man. Some stuff has been said to me. It's been
Yeah.
mind blowing.
But I mean, that's hurtful, because when you build a friendship or a relationship with somebody, and you create what you think is a safe space,
Yeah.
and then what you shared comes back in a way to hurt you or harm you.
Yeah, I think for me, I have fallen short and I used to feel like I was naive at certain points because I handled people with a certain level of dignity, respect, and integrity, and automatically assumed that they would give the same exact thing right back to me.
Yeah.
And so I would come with a level of transparency and level of openness that they wouldn't, and it would always backfire. So for a while, I shut down. And I think in some levels now, it was like I don't really say but so much, depending on who you are. And I'm extremely selective because, and I can say that even now, sometimes I have to remember that what I give, everybody is not able or has the capacity to.
Yeah.
So I'm really conscious about how I move with people more now than I was before. I automatically assume, well, if I'm giving you respect and a level of safety, I would expect that same thing in return. But that was a hard lesson for me.
Y'all want to go over a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we're here. We
Yeah.
might as well do it.
I mean, I want to read. I want you to read the comments, but I want to put in there. I think that is, one of the things. I'm like a documentary junkie. I love watching documentaries. I was watching one called Truth and Lies, and it was about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. Right?
Yeah.
We mentioned that the other week. But the crazy thing is, what happened with Bill and Monica wasn't because Monica went to the press. It was because she confided in Linda Tripp, who was a friend who recorded her conversations and ended up putting things out there for her own gain. So it's like, how do you recover from that? How do you recover? Let's start with, let's read through all of these comments.
He said, yes, I certainly, Sean said, yes, I certainly had to have the conversation. I thought one thing and it was totally something else. Yeah.
And I think you have to be aware of people who are more willing to listen than they are share. Right? When the person is more willing to hear you and I'm just a listening ear. No, you're gonna share something when they're not sharing.
Yeah, and I also believe like one term that's overused is you can trust me.
Oh God. Now that means if you can't.
Because if you have to tell me I can trust you, then right there, because I know if I can trust you, right? Like your actions will show me that I can trust you. And so I think that's a term that's overused for the sake of people literally trying to find out information, So if you tell me you can trust me, then you just best believe I'm just going to tell you a bunch of lies.
And when you know so much, we talked about this the other week. When you know everything that's going on with everybody, that's a red flag.
Yeah, nobody know nothing about you.
Exactly.
Or all you do is talk about everybody.
Exactly.
Right?
Everybody and know everybody's details.
Yeah.
Go on, bro. Let's read some more.
Yeah. So Yvonne says definitely someone told my info and added to it, but I took it as a lesson.
Always an ad.
And that's the
it's always
wow, I did that.
I mean, they
because that's the part that gets annoying.
They take out the own like they put their own narrative to it, right?
And change a whole nother story.
And I'm gonna be honest. Now I have definitely had my share of ups and downs in that song. I've had my share. I have definitely. But some of the things that I have heard, and I'll be like, what? Like, listen. I did what? Like, that is crazy. Francine, go on, read it.
She said, I shared with a former significant that I was struggling with and health issue.
Wow.
When they did something I didn't like, and I told them, stated that my issue wasn't with them, but with my health.
Wow.
Oh,
wow. That's powerful. Wow.
Yikes.
Thank you guys for your level of transparency.
It's one
tonight.
thing to tell your own truth is another thing to tell someone else's out of revenge.
Yeah. Sean said, once the conversation was over, my heart changed.
That right there.
Yeah.
That is what I had to be careful of. And I'm telling you, my mother coming on Father's Day was probably, I feel like it was really God saving me from shutting down, because her ministering to me in the office was what I needed. Because if I can be honest, my heart had changed. My heart had changed. Yeah. My feelings was hurt.
We need that, but God knows what we need, man.
I'm telling you, man, like my mother coming, and a lot of people thought I was emotional because she was there. I was emotional because I said, God, you're literally sending me a buffer right now. So I don't destroy my future. You know what I mean? And people don't understand, when you put out stuff about people that's not accurate, it damages people. You know, and they don't see the intent. They just want to find out if it's true.
Yeah.
or they just want to let you know what people are saying about
And people
you.
are just so gossip friendly.
Mhm.
I would say that they just want something to talk about. That they don't realize the impact of that on people, especially when you're in a leadership position trying to function from a high
Certainly.
level of
Certainly.
integrity. And on
Yeah.
top of that, being a single female or being
Yep.
a single male in this position, that adds a whole nother
Yeah.
layer to it.
And when you have to preach through,
And then I
what-
still have to minister to you.
you have to preach through all of that. I don't think people really understand the level of I don't want to call it self-affliction, but how hard we as leaders really are on ourselves.
Man, it's
right?
been some Sundays, Cam.
Yeah,
I have preached through pain
Certainly.
and got in the office, and
yes.
you know, Elder Tillman and them would just step out, and I would just literally
Oh yeah.
just cry
I've
inside
had
my towel
several
because
several.
the energy it took to do that
Mhm.
and to see, you know, God still blessing people
Yep.
that have said things about you,
Yep.
you know, and you have a responsibility to stand before them
Yep.
in the right mindset with the right motives, you know, it's hard.
Yes.
And even if we take
challenging.
like the leadership aspect, I can remember like thinking of moments where things that were completely false, that did not happen at all, that people created, especially in the church. And you have it. I can remember being young as a teenager and a rumor being spread about something, and I did not want to be there. Like I couldn't even control my emotions.
Mhm. It's a lot.
I did not want to be in
It's
that
like a
space.
cancer.
I almost left church. Like I
Yeah.
could not trust people. And these are the same people that are like, boom,
Of
baby,
course,
do your
of
thing.
course.
You know, get out of my face
Of course.
Yeah.
type thing. I
Yeah.
like really almost cut you off.
Yeah. I love these comments. You want to read, Candy?
Yes, everyone doesn't have your best interests at heart. I've learned don't share anything you don't want to be told. Yeah.
Wow. There's
Yeah.
a lot of comments in
Yeah.
here between you and me. Don't trust them. So listen, we're gonna let's go through some more.
Wow. He said
We got a
someone
lot.
told something about me, which was a lie, just to gain a position. In
Won't they do it?
Sheesh.
Won't they do it?
Sheesh.
Won't they do it?
Manipulation.
Tasha Renee,
tactic.
thanks for being with us tonight. Absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
crazy.
Yeah, people will hold your secrets until they feel like you're getting ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a whole nother conversation right
Yeah.
there. I ain't even
So
gonna-
here's another great segue. So
Yeah.
here's where we're gonna end with 42 of you
We
on.
might have to go there next week.
What's that?
What I just said. What?
No, but I think what I want to end with is, when does sharing your story as a way of it healing you become too much when it's a detriment to someone else, right? So maybe when you've been, where's my mouth, Lord? When you've been,
So this is a part 2.
when you think so?
I think this is a part 2.
We should just get a look. Oh, y'all, they trying to
No.
close out on y'all. So
I'm
on
not-
that note,
No.
No,
Seriously.
no,
I
no.
think this is seriously.
all right. So let's set it up so they can think about it at least.
because you have that element. You
Yeah.
have the ability of people like being able to hold your secrets or whatever you told them until it comes a time where they feel like you're getting more ahead of them
yeah,
than what they expect.
yeah. Or when you say, you know, this is my platform for healing or to help others, but it's at the detriment of somebody
I
else.
don't think you can effectively speak about your past until you're healed from it.
Wow.
When you are still emotional,
Mhm.
there's a damage that's going to happen to the other person involved, right?
Mm.
When you're healed, you can speak from a place of sobriety and
Yeah.
not have to include
And you're a lot
Yeah.
more conscious about
person,
how you do
you know,
it.
because some people literally, I've seen it, some people share the past as a way to navigate a platform,
Wow.
you know, or build a platform.
I had to speak to a
You know?
friend about that and help that individual kind of navigate that, because the church would use them to the fullest capacity. And then when it was time to really elevate them in a space that they deserve and that they worked in,
Yeah.
everything that they would ignore,
Yep.
they brought all of that to the forefront.
because now they've got more authority
Yeah.
to do it. Absolutely.
That thing burns me up.
Yeah.
I love what you said there, Steph. What about when your secrets are destroying me?
Man, please.
That's a whole thing. We got to go, y'all.
We got to
I
get
told
out
you
of
this is a
here.
part 2.
The comments are flooding.
You can't hurt
in.
me with the
Next
truth I've
week.
embraced. I don't tell anything I don't mind hearing.
Navigating lies
Yeah.
and the truth.
But I think, look, you know, Franklin said, honestly, I still have something against that person. Now, we don't know the time frame, but you know, for him to express that, like, that's a damage to
I
somebody.
keep my
right?
eyes on those people.
Man, that's
often.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. We are here every
Monday.
look. We all triggered. Tonight was a lot. We just need. Let's just take a. Just everybody. Just we just all need.
No, but I think for me, this I want to thank you guys and then also the audience because this was the last piece that I needed. I needed to verbally express this. I've been quiet about it since I've had the opportunity to speak with my parents in private.
Yeah.
And I've shared some with the church, but I think it's being a single pastor, man, it is a challenge.
Yeah.
And you really have to almost unfortunately walk with your head on a swivel. You have
really
to
do.
pay attention, and you have to be careful not to think everybody is bad, right?
Right.
And that's something my mom shared with me. You have to feed the people, you have to love them, but some things are what they are, and you have to be willing to accept that, knowing that
Because it comes with both.
your yes
Yeah.
qualified
Comes with
for
all of
you.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's par for the course, man. But yes, see all the comments in there. Definitely, bro. We applaud you for that for sure. And I can
Love y'all, man.
110% agree with you on all of that. We share a lot
Yeah.
in regard to those things. Being a single pastor, you don't get to come home all
This
the
was
time
good.
and have somebody rub your head and do all that stuff. Sometimes you got to come home and cry yourself to sleep. For real, for real. We're here every
Monday.
That-
Are y'all exhausted?
I'm worn out.
Wait, no, for real. I feel it all in my body.
this was a heavy show tonight, but a good show.
Yes.
It was really good, but
It's
I feel
37
all
people
of it.
still on.
37 of y'all.
We
Listen,
love you guys. This
Yes,
is what
sir.
I love about
Yeah.
this show. The level of transparency and
Absolutely.
the genuine conversations that that comes out
Yep.
of this is what's so dope.
Listen, don't forget we're having a live show August 9th. It's our season finale for Discussions from the Den. If you want to be there,
You better go now.
dftheden@gmail.com. We already had
Listen.
several
You better
of you.
go now.
Several of you.
Seats are filling
You better
up.
go now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you want to do
You know what?
is right
Actually,
now.
You know what I think we should do?
What's that?
I wish. Oh man,
What's that?
Deshaun, I wish you could come and do live, but I think next week, because Sean is a licensed therapist.
Word.
Okay.
I would love to bring him on to share his perspective.
Okay.
Especially he has a lot of experience in ministry and leadership, but then also he has experience in the natural world as well from a different
Okay.
perspective.
Let's make it happen.
And I would love for him to just come on next week and just, let's talk to him for a little bit so he can share some things.
Let's
And
do it.
and he's good with giving tools.
Yep.
So he doesn't just address things. He gives tools as well to help people. So I think it'd be dope.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Now,
All right.
oh my God, I'm about to give.
Are you giving a benediction? He said now
You
unto
feeling
him.
real deep. We are here every
Monday.
Monday.
At 9
9
p.m.
Peace.
Brooklyn.